we're at the base of Mount Washington, and you get to see what happens to my hair when I stand out in hurricane force winds. Now, as I was saying, at the summit, Mount Washington is the tallest mountain in this part of the United States, and as you can see behind me, it stands high and alone above its surroundings. And that's what makes it so exposed to those different weather patterns coming off the Atlantic and the Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico. And that's why Mount Washington gets such crazy weather. In fact, in 1934, the strongest wind ever recorded that wasn't associated with a tornado or a tropical cyclone was recorded. It was 231 miles per hour. And up on the summit of Mount Washington, you have such crazy weather that on an average of 110 days of the year experience hurricane force winds, like what we were in earlier today. In fact, we got kicked off the summit because there's tornadoes in the area. You never know what the weather is going to be like when you go to Mount Washington. Well, one of the neatest things that I do encourage you to do if you drive up to Mount Washington is pay attention to the vegetation as you are driving to the summit. You'll see major changes, and by the time you get to the top, you are going to see tundra. In fact, it makes me think that I'm back in Alaska or Norway. And it's quite an experience. In a short number of miles in New England, you can experience everything from typical deciduous forests to tundra. And then who knows what kind of weather you might have at the top.